Well, hello. I am back for another recap and review for Ladies Who List. This is still season 1, episode 2. That was 4. Episode 2, the pitch. This pitch we keep talking about. So, boom. Episode, pretty much the first half consisted of getting a little bit more insight into some of the ladies' lives and getting to know their backgrounds, where they came from, just more about their upbringing, which was nice. It'll kind of let us as an audience start to build rapport with these women, which I think is great. And first person we visit is Kiana. She sits down with her husband, and after last week's episode, I actually did a little snooping around, and I found out that since she is the broker, her husband is a contractor, I believe, and that's, I guess, how they met, do some business with that, or just being, around the same industry and whatnot, which I think is cool. They obviously have a lot in common. And she basically is telling him about the whole pitch with Robin and that whole thing. She's telling him about that and how she was put off when she asked Robin to hold her contracts while she was transitioning into opening her own brokerage. And I know I said last week, like, I kind of was just like not really here for it. Like, I saw things definitely one way, like that was not cool, shame on her. But I really thought about it, and honestly, I don't really think that Robin was super wrong, or should I say, I don't really think it is absurd to ask for or have an expectation of that you will be compensated in some form or another, whether it be monetary or through a service or whatever. If someone is requesting something of you that is literally your bread and butter, your business, like your career. And I say that because this is something that I have actually experienced in my own personal life, with individuals requesting services of me and then not, since we're cool or we're friends or whatever, they're expecting, the homie hookup or whatever. And I've come to realize, just me, especially me as a consumer, I never go up to my friends, and I feel like that is the true test of friendship, is to actually pay and want to support what your friends have going on. Especially if, they know where you're coming from, if you guys are in the same industry and stuff like that. Like, you of all people should know, like, I don't know, I just feel like that is actually the courteous thing to do. So I can understand, I see it a little bit differently this week. But anyway, she is speaking to her husband about that, and he actually says that he was kind of put off about it too, because I believe he knew Robin before Kiana did, or he has a friendship, so he thought, I guess, with Robin. So he was kind of thrown off by that too. Meanwhile, we transition over to Kira, and she basically says that she comes from humble beginnings as well. She spent most of her life in her grandmother's double-wide trailer, and she also like moved a lot with her mom. And that's kind of why, what brought her to where she is today, and why she's so prideful of where she is today, which is totally understandable. And she actually, like I spoke about last week, like I said, and I'll try to link her video in the description below. I think that would be good to get some more insight into that if you guys are interested, about how her house burned down. She made a vlog about that on her YouTube channel when it happened a year or so ago, whatever. And she basically takes us through that whole thing, and it's super sad to see that she was only in there for a month, and then that went down the drain, as well as the relationship that she had with her boyfriend too. I was like, wow, bro, that's a lot. And then we get into Tiffany. And her whole entire background, and where she found herself not too long ago, and was sunken into a depression, and she has severe anxiety. She's having panic attacks and whatnot, just from being overloaded with life, work, marriage, kids, all that, household. And she relied heavily on her support system, which is a great thing to have, people around you that support you and can comfort you in those times of need. So much so that her husband would literally drop her off at work. And I think that's great when you can support each other. He actually took a back burner role just to be of assistance to his wife, which I think is beautiful. And she is also taking her son out to learn how to drive, which I thought was super, oh my God, that'll be the day, man, when I gotta teach my future kids how to drive. My husband's gonna have to do that. I don't know, bro. But I think it was a nice little thing. And at this time, it is also their 13-year anniversary, and she goes out with her husband, and they are accompanied by Tiana and her husband, who I think his name is Arnold, and then Tiffany's husband is Jeff, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me below. And they were a huge help and a great support to her when she was having these difficult times. So of course it's only right that they share in this joyous occasion together, which I thought was super cool. And of course they bring up the entire pitch. They bring up Robin's idea and how they're going to have this whole meeting and whatnot. And the men are kind of see it black and white, and which is, I wasn't surprised that they said that at all. But they share that with them. And what else? Oh, we also find out shady. And I know everyone's kind of been like, at first, some people were liking Crystal, or everyone kind of saw her for who she was or how she was from the get-go. But we also find out that Miss Crystal requested or offered, I should say, she offered to take over Tiffany's clients when she had her third baby. That's kind of when things really started spiraling, I suppose, for her. She offered to take over her business and stuff like that, because, you know, they both are closing attorneys. And I'm just like, was that more for her benefit or your benefit? Because that seems very self-serving. Like, and Tiffany was basically like, you think I worked this hard just to be like, oh, here, and work for somebody? Like, nah. And I would have been the same way. Like, so I definitely think that was kind of shady and reveals more about Crystal's character. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm kind of getting like drawing demerits for everybody, for a lot of people, especially after this episode. Fast forward, Robin is showing a unit to a client in a well-known building in downtown Atlanta called the Healy Building, which she's actually sold over 50 properties in this. I think it has 164, 150 or something like that units in it, and she sold over 50 of them. And apparently we find out that she's like the condo queen. Like she be selling out of some condos and units and apartments and stuff like that, all downtown Atlanta, which is, I think that's commendable. And of course, she gets emotional speaking about her past, and because we found out last week that she was a single mom at a very young age, and she has 2 kids. Obviously, they're older now, but she's been in the real estate game for 20 years, which is great. And she winds up actually pitching, go figure, this or showing this unit to her client, and she says that this is like a great starter unit. That's kind of how she presents it to a lot of people, is that it's a great starter unit. You get in there, you build some equity, yada yada, and because it's such a booming location, it kind of just doesn't lose value, and you're able to sell it off once you want to take your life to the next step and have children or get married, or you know, spread your wings even more, which I think is cool. So she's actually gonna start putting in the paperwork for that Oh, 50 out of 106 transactions in the Healy building, which that's pretty cool, man. And this unit clearly is all about location, because $185,000 for 860 square feet. I was like, oh boy. Ooh, 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 ooh. I think I also forgot to mention that in the beginning when we were with Kira, she was actually showing a apartment condo to B Simone, and she wound up declining. Apparently they've been friends for years, which I thought was cool. That's cool. She tells us that they met when Kira was still working at Mattress Firm and B Simone was doing hair. I never knew B Simone used to do hair. Taught me something new. I think that was all for them. B Simone winds up not taking that place because it just didn't have enough. The closet was like this, and she just needed more. But that was cool to kind of see that she has some friends, which friends, popular friends and stuff like that, and celebrities. That's always cool. And I'm not surprised by that, because I believe, like, it says her name is like Kira the Realtor on Instagram or whatever, and I've actually seen her sell homes to a lot of other different celebrities and public figures, so I wasn't surprised at all. Okay. Tiana is actually getting recognized for the real estate awards, which is great. I think it's like for best social media campaign or something like that. And Kira and Tiffany are coming to show their support, which is amazing. And I love the pink blazer she had on. That color pink. Pink's my favorite color. I don't know if I've said it enough, but it is, and I loved it. And of course, afterward, they speak about the upcoming meeting, the pitch, once again. And this is kind of where, like, I started to be like, okay, Kira, like, okay, like, really? Like, I just don't think that holds as, not to diminish anyone's feelings, but it's just like what everybody else was saying. I was kind of like, okay, I could see why you have an issue with her, or you guys had issues in the past. Okay, I see that, whatever. But this was the first instance that came up that I was kind of like, really though? Like, really? Apparently, both Robin and Crystal unfollowed Kira some time ago, which I was just like, okay, I mean, I guess, but I feel like that's one of those things that it's like, that wouldn't make me want to not do business with somebody, but I can understand being like, oh, hey girl, I just slapped me looking through my followers, like, seeing you weren't following me anymore, like, just making sure we're still cool, whatever, just not coming in with daggers, and more so just genuinely like, oh, I just wanted to check in with you and see if we were still good. But that's not how she approached it, and it just, because of that, it just seems super petty. So I'm like for what? Dun dun dun. So here we go with this meeting, man. Here we go with this meeting. Everyone looks great. Everyone looks beautiful. And of course, Robin comes in last. All ladies come in and they're starting to, chat and kiki and whatever. And things start off friendly enough for the most part. And Robin, she pitches it finally. She pitches it, she throws it out there. This is what I'm trying to do. I want you guys involved. Boom, bam, thank you, ma'am. Nobody immediately declines until Kiana brings up her issues. And that's kind of where things started to get kicked off. And it's clearly still an issue for Kiana. And Robin, I'm not going to say she dismisses it. She does give her reasonings behind why she did what she did. But again, I kind of completely know where I stand on it, because on one hand, it's like, I totally see, ultimately, one thing's for sure, I definitely see why this is something talk worthy and why they need to definitely speak about this. It's definitely something, like, it's in existence. And I think that's fine across the board. But what I don't get is, one, like I said before, I'm not really 100% certain that I'm like, okay, I could see why Kiana maybe shouldn't have felt like that was just something that was so easy that she should be asking her without expecting to, you know, reimburse her in some type of way. And then alternatively, Robin, I feel you. I feel you were going through a lot at the time, and sometimes we action on where we're feeling deep inside poorly or not in the same taste that we would if we were feeling our best. I get that also, but at the same time, I'm not completely understanding how we got from, yeah, I was going through what I was going through at the time. My mental was just not where it needed to be, and that is just what it was. How we get from that to that translating into I need $500 a head. So because yeah, I don't get how it translated all the way to that. Was it like I'm just going through a lot, I feel like I ain't got, you know, no one to support me, and you know, I just feel like all I have is myself, and I gotta do what I need for myself. So I need you to come up off $500 per person, and so I don't know how it got from I'm here, and it made me just be like, I need that. Like I don't know. Maybe someone can explain in the comments, please, because I need to. Maybe I'm not looking at it from right angles. But that's them, and they agreed to have a private discussion, which I think is great, and I think that would be great for everybody to do with each other, not a whole group. Clearly, Crystal does not need to. Everyone does not need to come together to have these sidebar conversations. So then Kira speaks, and she brings up the whole IG unfollow thing. And I don't really remember if Crystal ever like really gave a reason other than, I don't really remember if she actually gave a reason as to why she did. But I remember Robin said like the algorithm, and this is kind of one of those like, I wish she just kind of would have been like, yeah, we just weren't engaging. I just was trying to change up my strategy. I don't know, just would have, other than just being like, oh, it was the algorithm, like and from there it goes completely left, and Kira winds up telling her like she'll, you know, shit on her and stuff like that. And I think that comes from a comment she said before that I think it was Tiana that kind of had to correct her when they were all together before, where it was like, she said something along the lines of like, oh, all she does is sell condos or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, but where she's selling is like, is that. And, you know, her success is not something like that, you know, kind of speaks for itself or whatever. And Kira actually goes as far as to be like, say something about her age, kind of, or whatever, and then that prompts Robin to get up and be like, and Robin does, she looks great for her age, whatever age that may be. I don't think she ever really said. I could probably do the math if I know her kids' age. Her kids look like they're dang near grown, so I mean, she looks up for age regardless. And I don't know, that just kind of took a whole different path that I really don't feel like it needed to. Like I said before, I could see where everybody else's issues are, but that just to me seemed petty in comparison to everybody else's issues and qualms that they have with each other. And I don't know where they will repair it from there. And then think Theo even more left when Crystal begins to be like, and apparently she said it 8 times that Robin, you're triggered, you're triggered, you're triggered. And again, it just, Crystal was acting the same as she was acting last week, where it was just like, whose side are you on? Or not that it was about picking sides, but it's just like, are you even on topic right now, as much as you're just out to point out whatever Robin is apparently doing and, you know, being triggered by, and, you know, whatever. And Robin even said, she's like, you didn't say anything to Kira when she basically told me she was gonna shit on me or whatever, like, and that's accurate. Like, Robin didn't say or Crystal didn't say anything there, and nothing was said the whole time until Robin started, you know, apparently proving that she can't play well in the sandbox. And Crystal definitely had like a lot to say, and like she kept saying that, and Robin swatted her hand, which I at first in the the highlights and stuff for the upcoming episodes, I was like, and I know, like, we're never promoting violence and stuff over there, so of course everyone is usually always just gonna be like, whoa, like, no, 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 and, you know, you see somebody putting their hands on somebody else, but I'm sorry, but Crystal, she was doing a lot in that moment, and it was just like a little gnat, like, you're triggered, like, shut up. And that's what I said before, I'm like, I just think they have some things that they need to reevaluate in their friendship, and I see that may be coming up next week, where Crystal sits down with her therapist, and I'm eager to see how things go when Robin has these sit downs with the other women. I'm really eager to see where it goes and how things go, and if she's able to come to have some solace out of those whole meetups. And I'm never trying to point fingers or anything like that, but I definitely think that Crystal should be taken out of the equation just to see how things will go when she's not around. But that's pretty much it, y'all. It was a good episode. I'm still loving this show. I'm still, you know, everyone's still someone I want to see on my screen, and yeah, it was interesting. I'm loving how we're getting some more background into the ladies' lives and whatnot. But I kind of hope that at the same time we kind of, not that I want to like speed through the storylines and stuff like that in the season, but I hope this is not just the storyline, or like we kind of figure out where we're going to go with this situation, which direction in the next couple episodes, and how I hope it's not a whole season filled of like, so are we going to do this or not? So are we going to do this or not? And then they get close to doing it, and then something happens, and then it's like, oh, we're not really doing it. Like, you know, I know one of the big things between like everyone was kind of getting upset about like with selling Tampa and stuff like that is saying like they never sold any houses and stuff like that. And so far we've seen Robin sell one and perhaps another one this episode. So we're good on that in that department. But I definitely want to see just like what is, like, I want to see the exact deliverables of what we're supposed to be getting with this show. And it's not just going to be fixated on, are they going to come together or are they not? Because, I mean, I want to see it one way or another. It's like we're not going to come together and we're all going to individually do our things and I'm here for it. Or we're going to come together and we're going to do some even more great things together and I'm here for it regardless. So, but thank you guys for watching this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.